Thanks, Jan. Hi, everybody. My name is Matthias. I'm running Statkraft Ventures. It's actually really great to be here. It's actually great to see that ecosystem grow. I can actually feel it grow, like what Ecosummit has built over the last years. And I think, or I'm convinced there is at least two reasons why that's growing and prospering ecosystem. And I think one is obvious. It's Jan being a great host and actually gathering all that community together and providing the right scenery for all that. But I think there's even a more fundamental reason for all that. And I think one of the really fundamental reasons why it's a great and growing community, why it's really exciting times, is that energy as such is really a big mega trend. I mean, if you just imagine like what you could do if you have plentiful, abundant, cheap, clean energy. I mean, pretty much everything could be solved in some way. I mean, if you think about, there's more important topics like fresh drinking water. But if you think about you have all the energy you need and it's cheap and it's clean, not a problem anymore. So I'm very excited about that specific topic, and that's why I'm really happy to see all the people gathered here. So you might think, well, I'm a dreamer, I'm idealistic, and I am. I'm excited about what I do. But the good news is it's already happening. I mean, if you look at Germany, like 30% of all power generated is renewable already, and that's great. So I think it's a very good time. And on the other hand, I mean, all that change towards renewables is great, but it does cause problems for some existing systems player infrastructure. And also that is good. I mean, not for everybody, obviously, but it's definitely good for all kinds of entrepreneurs. And also it's good for the venture capitalists backing them, trying to help them actually grow their business. So I want to talk a little bit about timing, and I'm not telling much of a secret in venture capital that we like to invest where markets are just in their growth phase, right? I mean, at the lower end where stuff is declining, nobody wants to get on board. We would probably not invest in like hard coal burning power stations. But everybody wants to be in that very growth sector. And I think the good news is there's a lot of topics that are in that specific segment, in that growth phase of their life cycle. And I mean, you could probably argue about like the individual topics that I put in those bullets. It's all kind of stuff that we're trying to look at, trying to figure out if there's good startups in those sectors. You could probably argue like about each of them, like if it's like more to the early introduction phase or like further down towards maturity. But at least there's lots of stuff, and timing is right for a lot of energy topics. That's good. And you might actually think, well, my job is easy, right? I mean, it's all happening anyway, just jump on the train. But I'm afraid it's not because of this, right? So even if market timing is right, and I think it is for quite a few things, what it basically says, I mean, what those two charts are saying is even if timing is right, market is right, everything's right, you can, as an entrepreneur, you can still screw up, right? Unfortunately, not every investment just grows with the market, or maybe fortunately, because some just grow better and some grow worse. So I think part of our challenge is to really tell the winners from the losers. I mean, given the fact that we assume they're all in the right place at the right time, still it does take quite an effort to actually win that game, even if you're at the right time, at the right place. So, and that's part of what I want to talk about, like what does it take, or how can we tell winners from losers? And it's probably hard, and I don't think there's even empirical evidence, because again, then it would be easy. We just had an algorithm finding good startups. I think it's more complicated than that. And also, I mean, I kind of want to focus on two things only, because it's kind of an obvious and well-known concept, I guess. But I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the management, and specifically what we call like the getting shit done attitude, getting shit done mentality, if you excuse my language. But I think it's important because, I mean, I've seen startups really failing, and usually like a very recurring concept if they keep explaining why stuff doesn't work, keep excusing, keep complaining, but that doesn't get you anywhere. So what I've seen, at least in my career, is that people who just want to get things done, want to get like that contract closed, want to get their product really working, that's just the right kind of people. And you can tell those kind of people in conversations. And the other thing is commitment. I mean, building a company is like really a marathon in the first place, and it's hard, and there's obstacles, there's bumpy roads all the time. So you have to be committed 100%. And probably an example that doesn't fit in the energy sector, but like one of my former portfolio company was producing dental implants, like artificial tooth. And the founder, he was really convinced, so actually he sacrificed a more or less functioning tooth to put one of his implants in. It's quite a operation. And that's what I like. I mean, it's really showing commitment, and not all of you have to like sacrifice parts of your body to like prove that you believe in what you do. But I think that's kind of what we're looking for. So another thing I want to talk about is you have to be better than the status quo, right? You have to be better, and you have to be better in an order of magnitude. And it's kind of it sounds like a venture capitalist bullshit phrase, and it probably is. But I kind of want to illustrate what I mean, because I mean, I don't know. If you're thinking a car 10 times faster, it would be nice, but probably useless, and my wife probably would not allow me to drive it at all anyway, so that's not what I mean. I mean, we also look in the dimension of usability, like customer experience. And then it's not so far-fetched anymore. If you just think like your experience with your local utility, you get a bill once a year, that's not like the best relationship and experience you have in your daily life. So that's easy to like increase. And if you look at maybe one of our portfolio companies, Tado, they just having that smart thermostat, which helps you to control your heating system. And they engaging like on a daily or weekly basis. Everybody is touching it, and it just loves that experience because it offers you not only the savings, but also a just increased level of comfort. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's what we're looking for, being really much better, changing the game like fundamentally. And that's just an example. So you might think, I agree to all of that, but what can we help? Like, how do we work to make that entire game work? I mean, how do we help entrepreneurs to be successful in the long run? And I think a good way to explain that is how we work as a corporate venture fund, because there's different kind of corporate funds. And I think it has two dimensions. Like, one dimension is that we are just like financial investor, which is the first line. So we focus on financial return. We want to earn money. We want to have like fast decision making, and we don't want any limits towards the exit potential of the firm. So that's very plain what every venture capitalist does. But then we have the corporate, the industrial layer of things that we also have in our DNA, and that is about what I call cooperation on demand. So we really wait for the entrepreneurs to come up with a request. I mean, if they want to get access to our shareholder Statkraft, we're happy to really try to establish that, but it has to be on a commercial logic that the founders actually need to find useful. So that's kind of what we offer, but we can't promise. But that's the way we work on the cooperation part, and we kind of like that because it just might be an unfair advantage over a competitor. And we've heard examples this morning how it really can speed up the development of a startup. And then also, I think an industrial aspect of our daily work is that we have access. We can just talk to colleagues over lunch maybe, or we can involve them to pitches if it's okay for the startup. And that leads, arguably, but I think to much better investment decision, because I mean we have that background knowledge in energy markets. And it's just like one data point that we use. It's not like the given fact, but it's at least a helpful data point that we can exploit. So that's how we work, and it's all nice in theory, I guess. But I think if you want to understand it better or more from a inside perspective, you should talk to our team. And the good news is there's two people here. Stefan and Alex are both like great people, and also like really experienced people as entrepreneurs and in the energy sector. So I would suggest you just talk to them during the breaks and find out if there's a fit and if we can be a useful partner for you. And that is all I have prepared so far, and maybe a less boring slide for the finishing part. Thank you so far.
You made a recent investment in the company called?
Yes, we did invest in a very great company called DEPsys, and they are helping the DSO, the distribution grid operator, to both monitor the grid and also to optimize it. And it's kind of interesting. That's what I said in the beginning. It's just not built for fluctuating feed-in from renewables. Mm-hmm. I mean, traditionally, it's not. Mm-hmm. And so it's great to, I mean, that's a problem. And it's great for startups addressing that problem.
And it's a Swiss startup?
It's a Swiss-based startup, great team of entrepreneurs.
How did you find them?
Good. I think my colleague found them somewhere. So that's why we come to events like yours.
Okay, cool.
Good.
Right answer. Perfect.